Bakhram, the quote-unquote boogeyman, Murtazaliev, and Josh Kelly is honestly a way more interesting fight than the public is making it seem to be. They are assuming it's going to be a complete slaughter for Bakhram, and to me, when you break down the film and you look at what they do well and what they struggle with, there's a lot of interesting factors that come into play with this fight, and I think it's worth having a conversation about. There's no doubt in my mind that there's going to be aspects to this fight that really highlight the issues with people having recency bias when evaluating fighters. I know for myself and a lot of others, they haven't seen a lot of Bakhram outside of the Tim Tszyu fight, but they also haven't made an effort to go back and look at Bakhram before the Tim Tszyu fight. That Jack Kulke fight with Bakhram was kind of an eye-opener on his style and what he looks like in different positions other than when he's just beating the brakes off somebody like Tim Tszyu. Kulke was forcing him to move backwards, forcing Bakhram to defend himself in positions where he's uncomfortable, where he's not just moving forward all the time. When he's moving forward, he's successful. Of course he's successful. He's strong, he has a chin on him, his punches come from weird angles, and he's comfortable in those kind of exchanges. But as soon as he's moving in any other direction, you can see how uncomfortable he is, how often he's getting hit, and he's getting hit hard. His chin is in his benefit, man, because he has been hit hard a lot throughout his career when he's forced in those type of directions. But his physical attributes have always pulled him through. He's always game enough to push through that and move forward and hurt the guy's back. And I have to give him credit for that as well. When I look at Josh Kelly, do I think he's going to be able to move forward and push Bakhram backwards? Honestly, no. There's no friggin' way I see Josh Kelly having any success being able to do that. If he's going to win this fight, he has to do kind of the exact opposite of that. As soon as he's in inside range, he's got to clinch. He's got to find a way out of that. He can't try to exchange with him. In the past, he's tried to do that. I think his ego gets the best of him at times when he has some success and he feels like he is outclassing his opponent, but at the end of the day, he's got to be smart all 12 rounds this fight. He can't take a moment where he is in an exchange and wants to get the best of Bakhram and try to win some sort of exchange in an ego battle. He's got to be on the outside, he's got to jab, he's got to move, he's got to utilize his speed and footwork for all 12 rounds. When you look at Josh, he's had a lot of success with that in his career, honestly, especially in the early parts of fights. Sometimes later on in fights, you'll see him break down, his stance break down, and he doesn't have as strong as foundation as you need for somebody like Bakhram, but he has the attributes. He has speed, he has great instincts, he's hard to hit clean early in fights, and I think that can cause Bakhram a lot of issues when Bakhram is just trying to bulldoze forward. Josh Kelly has those attributes to cut angles, move away, find shots, utilize his speed, utilize his class. But as the fight wears on, he's got to be able to maintain that. If he loses any foundation in his stance or his defense, or he gets careless, or just can't mentally stay as locked in throughout the rounds, it's going to be trouble for him because Bakhram's going to be very persistent. He's going to be coming forward. Bakhram honestly reminds me of Subriel Matias in a lot of ways because they understand what their end goal is when they go into a fight. They understand what they're good at and what they're not good at. They're not trying to outbox you. They're not trying to outpoint you. That's not their style. They're going to walk through you, they're going to throw volume, and they're going to throw devastating shots at you. And kind of like a mirror of that can be the Josh Kelly and David Avanesyan fight, when Josh Kelly early on is kind of outclassing Avanesyan. He's moving, he's successful with his speed, with finding shots, his accuracy. His eyes are incredible. He sees all shots coming in. He's hard to hit clean, but the pressure, the persistence of Avanesyan just wore him down. There's head clashes, the fight was rough, and it's a friggin' fight, man. Things are going to happen, and I can see similar things happen with Bakhram. When Bakhram's coming forward, and if Josh gets overzealous and tries to fight on the inside, things are going to happen, man. There could be head clashes, there could be cuts, and Josh has to be able to work through that. He has to mentally not be affected by that. Avanesyan, I think, deeply affected him by that, and I think it took Josh out of the fight. He felt like he was in a war, and he started fighting like he was in a war just because there was blood streaming down his face. But the reality was he was kind of winning the fight on the outside, and he was outclassing Avanesyan early on. But he became willing to have exchanges with him, and he was willing to like lay on the ropes and fight with him there, where Avanesyan wanted him. And he can't do that against Bakhram. He can't let it become a firefight. I'm not saying that head clash with Avanesyan didn't hurt Kelly, because it probably did, man. That cut was brutal, and he completely changed after that moment. And I don't want to make that a reflection of Josh Kelly and the type of fighter he is, but it happened, and that's his only loss, so we have to evaluate him based on that. One of the things I'm interested in seeing as the fight wears on is like how Bakhram adjusts to the movement of Josh Kelly. Is he going to be bulldozing forward? Is he going to be cutting off the ring? How is he going to adjust to the angles of Josh Kelly when he's finding combinations within his movement and his rhythm? Will Bakhram be able to fight at his pace? Is he just going to be able to completely run over Josh? I gotta see when they are in exchanges on the inside, how Josh Kelly makes his exit. Is he making an exit throwing punches? Is he making exits with his hands down? Is he holding so the ref breaks him up? Like what's that gonna look like? Is the ref gonna let them fight through it? That's really, really important for the outcome of this fight. I think that if the ref is more lenient and lets Bakhram do his work on the inside there, it's gonna be terrible for Josh Kelly. But if he breaks him up early, or Josh is able to exit and not get hit, that could be extremely beneficial for him. But at the same time, Josh tends to exit with his hands down. Even as a guy like Ishmael Davis, like he's getting hit coming out from the inside range and trying to work from the outside again. He exits with his hands down. He relies on his eyes and his instincts, which are exceptional, but again, it breaks down as the fight goes on, and he can't rely on that all the time, especially a guy with Bakhram who's going to be extremely dangerous and is going to be looking to take his freaking head off. There's no way you can watch a guy like Bakhram and think he's a defensively responsible fighter. He wants to do what he does best. He wants to come forward and inflict damage, and he understands that he's going to be taking damage and wearing shots in the process of that. You saw in the Kelly and the Tim Tszyu fight, they're landing that overhand right over and over again on Bakhram. They're timing his jab coming in, or they're just ending their combinations with the right hand. He's open there a lot. He knows he gets hit there a lot, but he doesn't make an adjustment. Do I think Josh Kelly has the power to really hurt him there? No. But do I think he can sting him? Yes. Do I think he can score points doing that? Yes. And it's definitely a weak spot in Bakhram's game. For some reason on that lead side, he keeps his lead hand low when he's exiting, or even with the jab, he brings it back low and he gets countered with the right hand, and he doesn't make an adjustment there. He doesn't bring it back high. He keeps it low on his retreat with his hand when he gets back to his base, and he gets caught all the time in that positioning, but he doesn't make an adjustment. And I think that's something he needs to work on, but I don't see Josh Kelly being able to really hurt him because of that. When you watch Josh Kelly fight, most of the time it feels like he has some sort of hand-picked opponent. It feels like a sparring match, and he just completely outclasses them. It doesn't feel like he faces a lot of adversity, and he's had a lot of good wins visually, optically, since the Avanesyan fight, and the Ishmael Davis fight was a really good win as well. But there's a lot of question marks with if he's able to implement a game plan over 12 rounds. Can he stay disciplined? And is he able to keep himself out of firefights? Especially against a guy like Bakhram, that's the last thing you want. And I think he understands that this is his only opportunity at a world title, so I expect him to be game. I expect him to understand that he's not going to knock Bakhram out, and his path to victory is really just trying to outpoint him and work his strengths and capitalize on Bakhram's momentum forward and his weakness, and not having the ability to defend himself from different angles, or doesn't make adjustments. So there's a lot of openings there. There's a lot of things to take advantage of. But at the end of the day, I can't say I'm really confident in Josh Kelly being able to survive all 12 rounds. I see his foundation eventually breaking down, and I do see him eventually getting stopped. In terms of the flow of the fight, I think he's going to be winning early on, and I think he's going to have a clear speed advantage, and there's going to be a lot of intention in terms of a game plan and what he's trying to do there. But as the rounds wear on, I think his stance is going to break down, and I don't see him being able to wear the damage over 12 rounds from a guy like Bakhram. So if I am making a bet, it's going to have to be Bakhram in rounds 8 to 12.